When daily tasks become too painful, it's time for change. Let our pain management and wellness practice, Valentine Integrative Health, elevate your quality of life and ease your discomfort. Visit us at ValentineIntegrativeHealth.com and start your journey to a fuller life.
Welcome to the show. We got a tight half hour today, baby.
Yeah, we do.
Things to do.
And it's exciting because we're always like to see when our friends are, let's get everybody ready to go. Shining, 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 shining. Yeah. All of it's winning. Did you say winning?
Winning, yeah.
Okay. So a good friend of ours.
Winning.
Sean Yancey. Those who are local know and love Sean Yancey. She used to be with we were colleagues for many years at Fox 5 and then went to our different places now. She's at Channel 4. You can catch her in the evening. Of course, you can catch me in the morning on Channel 9. And she's having her first solo art show today downtown. So we're going to dip in
and dip out
because, baby, we're not in the market for no fine art right now. So we're in the market for
we're
friendship.
Supporting, though.
That's right. Yeah. Well, we can offer a support. So, but we're happy to be with you today. And thank you so much for joining us for the Allison Marc Podcast.
Who are we, babe?
In Media. Well, we are two Gen X media pros who have been married for 24 years now with 3 grown kids, one of whom just finished her first year of medical school at Howard University College of Medicine.
Yes, come on now.
We talk about everything from politics to pop culture and a little bit of humor and a whole lot of love. Welcome to the podcast.
So let's hop on in. Welcome everybody again. If you're watching all over the world, hello. We're worldwide.
Got to dedicate this show to my mama.
Aww.
My mama went to be with the ancestors on this day 8 years ago.
That's hard to believe
already. And so I'm here to tell you that we were the dynamic duo. I grew up hearing people say, "Man, you look just like your mom," and I never saw it. Tears involuntarily come to my eyes when I think about her and her lovely spirit. But we really went through a growth, like an understanding of each other. And what I mean by that is we were always really close. But in full disclosure, when I got older and we had our kids and it was almost like sometimes I'd be like, "Mom, no, we can't come over every day." But you know what now? I wish I damn went over every day. So Mama, you were right at the end of the day. But this show is dedicated to Barbara LaRoche Seymour. May you continue to rest in peace. And I thank you every day for all the lessons that you poured into me. So this is dedicated to my mama, baby.
Well, it's interesting because, I end up talking to people, we talk marriage, you talk about life. And what I say about you, babe, is, you were raised by two of the most dynamic, brilliant, loving people that I've ever met. And you are that person. And I actually happened to be in the room, to at the very end on both cases. Mm-hmm. And I think it was the same thinking and same thought and same prayer when I was in that room, babe. I just thank them for giving the world you, because in their greatness, I can see them in your greatness, and you're special. So that's why I don't give a lot of advice on marriage, because I think you have to pick the right person, and also, the person, this has to know themselves, love themselves, and when they come from like situations you come from, they're like prepared for life. And what I realize is most of us have this baggage, and a whole bunch of stuff that we have to work through. It makes it very challenging when two people come together.
Absolutely.
And so that's a part of it. So interestingly enough, I see as people are hopping on, Kim, Mary's coming first, Pernell hopped in, also Kim and Shamira hopping in, and Shamira, you want us to do Ask Allison? We're doing Ask Allison. We're going to do a brief show. Do you have one for us? If you do, just type it in the comments, Dr. Brown, because you asked about that the other day. Mm-hmm. But speaking of mothers, babe, I saw this and I thought about you. What's up, Christy? Thought about you because I was like, interesting. I wonder what Allison would think about this. So this is for everybody else. What do y'all think about this? This woman's comments about motherhood. About motherhood. Okay, here we go.
5 areas where mothers wound: personality, a lot of times it's just a personality difference. This was a struggle with me and my daughter to recognize that there's something in our personalities that are fighting that is keeping my daughter from getting what she needs. The second is my past. You mentioned, where in my past as a mother did pain come from that I'm still carrying? Third is power. When we fail to make the peaceful transition of power from us to our daughter at the proper time and pace, there is a wound. Prioritization of need, whose needs get put first, and then finally, I call it the plus 10. Later on, when you look back, will you have handled this crisis in a way that your daughter will remember well? When we drop the ball in any of those areas, there's usually a wound, and it lasts a long time.
We have 3 daughters.
Now, the thing about
3 daughters, 3 different personalities.
And the thing that I noticed about this, and I think in having conversations, first of all, when we say, to me, wound is a lot. Wound is a lot. And I think a lot of people feel those wounds. It could just be characterization of how, when I look at how I was raised and those things that I feel, I didn't look at them as wounds, but many do. So when I saw it, babe, I thought of you. I was like, I wonder what, babe, you having 3 daughters and you being a daughter. I saw you and your mother's dynamic. And it's different than you and the girls' dynamic. So what's your take on that?
Well, I think that
and chat, of course, chime in.
Overall, what I think that she really laid it out really well. My overall feeling when I look at that is a lot of times, Mother's Day is right around the corner. It's Mother's Day. It's like the early Mother's Day show. What I think about is a lot of us were raised with, well, I'm the mom and you're the child, period. And look, I value that. And I understand that, because at the end of the day, I think that children do need that guidance and that figure that they can go to and that they trust. But what I will also say is there are variations of gray in that. And often we don't honor those, right? So what she's talking about is because this is what Mom and I might have struggled with when I got older, like the letting go in that, recognizing that I'm a full adult and I'm not going to be able to do some things that maybe like, no, I can't do this. I'm really busy, so I can't really be over there every day doing this or that. And then I realized, like, is that a control issue? Is that in me, or is that in Mom? And we came, at the end of the day, we came to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like you have to honor those little things, because the wound, when you wake up and now you're 60 and your child is 30 and your relationship really isn't where you want it to be, is it because when that child was however old, you said, well, I'm the parent, with no talking to the child? What are they going through? What are they experiencing? Why are they acting this way? Do you know what I mean? And so not really honoring them as little people. They're still people with full. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, no,
so
definitely.
It's just like it's just very interesting. And then also, I think because we we have what would be considered like a trauma-free pretty much life. We've lost a lot of people, but we haven't really experienced a lot of violence, a lot of real trauma with the kids. Haven't really experienced that, right? So when they come to you and they say, I'm feeling a little anxiety about this, I don't know how, and then what you want to say is, get in there and you do it no matter what, without understanding that maybe they're feeling something that is real to them. You know what I mean? So valuing what they're saying, even when it doesn't really fall in line with what you think, where you think they should be. So it's just very interesting. I agree with what she said, and I think it's really brave, because I think a lot of times we as moms, we do so much, it should be okay. Well, it should be okay. I did this, that, and the third. But sometimes it's not, and it's not an indictment on you. Like she said, maybe it's a personality thing, whatever. So, I think it's smart, because at the end of the day, like that whole "I'm not your little friend," at a certain point, you want them to be your little friend. Like when you're 65 and they're 32, like you want them to want to call you, And so it's a fine line. It's a very delicate balance in raising, especially girls. We only had the girls. But,
but you know what? I know I'm emotional. It's weird.
Yeah. We got to go out after this. Don't be making me cry.
I think what we do, because I think we both crack on each other, because I think a lot of times with our kids, we definitely just being like, we do not put up that resistance.
Mm-hmm.
We let it go, even when sometimes it's craziness.
Right.
But I think what it is that you're right, babe. It's like we don't do the old school that kind of talk down to thing.
Mm-hmm.
And even when we financially have to put out something, a lot of times we don't do the long speech. We don't do the "I told you so." We don't, hard head makes a soft butt, which is the old way. And I know my mother was definitely old school.
Mm-hmm.
We do it more with love and kind of like, because I think what we realize is, like you said, even though for us, the solution and the answer is right there, for them, they're learning. Mm-hmm. And I think we're very, because not that we have all the money or all the answers, but I think we just kind of like, we choose love. And I think it does play better in the long run, mm-hmm. because we've seen it in play when they come back and say, you know what, Mom, you were right, or Mom, thank you, or whatever. Versus the old days where it was, but now let's keep it real. Now I always tell my mom, when my mom was by herself, so financially struggle, you ain't got time for it. Sadly, you don't. Right. And so it's like, look.
But I mean, I think that's fair. And part of that is, I don't have it, baby. I don't have it.
Yeah,
I wish I had it to do, but sometimes you can't do what everybody does, or sometimes you're going to have to do it this way. So
and everything is heightened. Everything's heightened too. When you're struggling as a parent, it's like, no, that's not happening.
And sometimes you just say it without, you don't have to explain, because at the end of the day, that is what it is.
Yeah.
But, I wish I could do it, or whatever. I can't. So I think we tried to lead with honesty, transparency. You can always come and talk to us. Back when they were younger, if you're at a party and something is going wrong and you weren't supposed to be there, let's talk about it later. First, call me, because I'm going to come and get you out of that situation. And that's what it is. So but I like what she was saying.
And some just trying to get the same thing you have, because they probably do not have nobody jealousy. Sometimes. Mm-hmm. Let's see what else says. Happy your home matters and not doing nothing to hurt you or harm you. You should be okay.
Talking about this raising the kids,
yeah, okay. definitely.
Right. So I like what she's
and more she's doing by herself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's what my experience was. That my mom, everything was on 10. Everything. This is my mom. This is my mom for every turn. What?
Yeah.
What?
She's doing it by herself.
Can I have some more ketchup?
Yeah.
But she was she was by herself, holding out by herself. Okay, so we do have an Ask Allison.
And she did an excellent job.
We have an Ask Allison, babe.
Okay, do you want to get to it? Do you want to do? Let's leave 5 minutes at the end. What else we got today?
Okay,
I want to talk about this Good Times reboot. Do you have that loaded?
I don't have.
Okay, we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah, the Good Time reboot. That's
Have you all seen this? Good Times. It's a reimagining. If you haven't seen it, because it's on one of these.
You want to do? You want to do a clip? We can talk about it without seeing it. But you want to? You think the clip is better?
I'm gonna let you guide it. You tell me what we got.
Okay. So speaking of young ladies' personalities, this is something I'm so curious. I see Bootsy in the chat. I'm so curious, y'all, about this, because this is an interesting kind of place, and I think we're people of a certain age.
Mm-hmm.
We've known people who are this way. You may be this kind of person. Amanda Seales is today, I believe, the interview with Shannon Sharp, of course, whatever. And so for those, Amanda Seales, many have considered her difficult. That's kind of the reputation.
I don't like that reputation for
women. And she does not either. And nobody likes the reputation of being difficult.
Well, you know who stands on it? A bunch of men who get called difficult.
Well, and you're right. And I think, sadly, there's double standards. But I think it's double standards. I think a man can stand on being difficult and people almost respect it. If a woman is, if a woman is, okay. So this is interesting, and I want to talk about it. Because I think some people may understand and are this way. So let's see.
I am who I am. People know who I am, and that's a beautiful thing. The person I am is beautiful because you don't never have to guess. People like me are a blessing. You don't ever have to guess. And so much of this life is people not wanting to deal with the real and just hiding in the shadows. And instead of honoring, honor is a strong word, but instead of, regarding and respecting people who are straight ahead, we treat them like they are a nuisance. We treat them like they are a disruption, when really they are a gift, because it really removes the guesswork of subtext. It removes the guesswork of ulterior motives. I am what I am. What you see is what you get. Whatever you hear me saying is what I'm saying. And to me, that is such an easier route. And I've found people in my life over time that really see that is such a dope way to exist. And it's been a blessing. So when you asked me earlier about like people who have protected me and like people who understand me, like it's those people who see that as a gift, not as an attack.
Let me tell you something. I agree 100%.
And here's
100%, because the older that I get, the more I'm looking to live in that authentic space. And what I find is the less tolerance I have for, not standing in my convictions, like walking on eggshells about this and that or whatever. And you know what I think? I'm going to be real. Like, so those of you who know me and have followed my journey and all of that, I think that I spoke earlier about, I'm a person who hasn't really I did a lot of moving around when I was younger, did a lot of moving around in my career. And then, and then I get to a space where I'm like, so happy. Those are my years at Fox 5. Like, so, and then there's a disruption, right? And you're forced to basically stand in your truth. And I thank God for that transition, because it really shows at that point your mettle and who you are. And I agree with what she's saying. So no, it's not going to be on any foolishness. It's not going to be on this other stuff. And I'm a very easy person to get along with, as I think you can attest to that. I don't bother nobody. I don't want to whatever. But I like what she said, because those people are the real. And if you don't like it, you don't mess with her. Okay, then you don't mess with her. But I'm going to tell you something about Amanda Seales real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick, that when I was going through the height of what I felt like being targeted and bullied at Fox 5 and back in the day before I left by the management team. And I don't know if that's breaking news or not. I don't think so. But she came in and literally she had this saying, and she said, sometimes, and I'm paraphrasing it, it said, sometimes you gotta put your hoops on and rock. Sometimes you gotta put your hoops on and rock. And I saved that as a screensaver, because I was literally told at a certain point, don't wear hoops anymore on TV. Don't wear hoops anymore on TV. Right. And I'm going to just go ahead and say this, especially for women of color, Black women like myself, we throw the hoops on, baby, like jeans, whatever, hoops. It makes everything better. There's a power in that, almost like natural hair and feeling like that.
Yes.
And so she came in, she just happened to come in the station, and I showed her my screensaver and I said, this has gotten me through so much, to know that somebody understands the power. And this is not about the hoops. It's about adorning yourself, how you want to adorn yourself, and the little flavor and style that you have or whatever that people try to take away. And I started crying in her presence. And she was like, what is going on? I'll never forget it. I was interviewing her. We were almost about to go on TV. She's like, what is going on? And I said, I just been going through a lot. And seeing you be so strong in your conviction helped me.
Yes.
So Amanda Seales is my girl, period. And that's how I feel about it.
Now let me say this. And again, I'm a man, so I'm not a woman. I'm a man. I'm not a woman. I'm the son of.
Laverne, you said you got your hoops on right now.
I'm the son of a woman who is definitely that, right? But here's the challenge, and here's what comes with that, though. And my mom's a prime example. Because in the interview she talked about that, but then she also talked about the people who are not protecting her.
Yeah.
And also talked about at a point having low self-esteem, at a point considering suicide, at a point considering it's not worth being here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me say this now. My mother. When you stand on business, You have to stand on business.
Yeah.
Nobody's protecting you. Okay?
Yeah.
People don't like it. All right?
People don't like what?
What I'm saying is, she has a reputation for being difficult.
Yeah, she has a syndicated radio show.
Because though what I'm saying is when you're keeping it all the way real, and you have a tone, she talked about that, a tone, you have a way of moving, you have an honesty, people don't like it, and you'll be cast a certain way. What I'm saying is stand on that. Oh, yeah. My mother, Jackie stood on that. A lot of times,
she's standing on it.
No, she's standing on it, but a lot of the interview was almost like the sympathetic piece. We know it doesn't work that way. You got to be who you are. That's who you are, and love who you are, and understand who you are. You know what I mean? It's almost like somebody. It's like she was saying, if you had an issue with somebody, and they come up like people are fake, and they come up and do the fake hug thing, she ain't gonna hug you because you don't mean it, right? Now, if you do that, what comes with that is the hate that you get. But you have to stand on that hate. That's all I'm saying. So I'm definitely, you have to be your own self. Don't change for anybody. But what comes with that is what comes with it. That's my only thing. Yeah. And I think you can't have it both ways. You know what I mean?
Is she asking to have it both ways?
I think what she's learning is, yeah, kind of. You're maturing into, first of all, it's almost like with our kids. If you have a kid who's very honest, very, very smart, very opinionated, honest, smart, opinionated. What comes with that is people don't like that. So you have to manage that.
Sure. No, don't. Right.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
And I think that has to be understood. So you can't talk about, because a lot of the things she talked about was protecting. People protecting her. People ain't protecting you.
Well, she talked about that.
It's a cold world. People don't protect you, especially if you're bold enough to be who you want to be. People aren't going to protect you, and it's a double standard. If a guy's that way, people don't give a damn. He's an ass. He's an asshole. If a woman's that way, then we have these conversations about it.
Right. So that's why, for me, it's a moot point because she's standing.
It's not a moot point, man. What I'm saying is, if you're going to be that way, stand on it.
Okay, but so with the clip that you just showed everybody, sounds like she's standing on it. So maybe there's some other things.
Well, I just told you, you're standing on it. But so why are you crying and thinking about committing suicide because people don't like you?
Well, I think that what happens is you grow. Like if that was yesterday, then you make a decision that I am going to, yes, I'm having feelings of low self-worth. I don't see, why don't people like me? And then there comes a moment, this is what I'm talking about. There comes a moment when you say, well, damn it, they're going to not like me if I do it this way, or they, people go. So then you make that decision that you got to stand on your own.
Yes.
And that's what it is. And it sounds to me, unless you, there's more of that clip that we don't know about.
No, there's 3 hours. Yeah.
Okay. Then I feel like.
I just wanted to talk about that and then talk about how it is a double standard for men and women. And then I also just wanted to say, like I said, men or women, if you're gonna be that person, right. So people call it being a smoozer. People would say I'm a smoozer. I have a whatever, right? I'm super conscious of how people hear things. I'm very conscious of that. When you're that kind of person, you're not going to say something a certain way because you don't want people ruffle feathers.
Until somebody says something that now you're like, well, damn it, I tried.
Exactly.
And so you may as well be that way anyway then. If you're going to get to the point where people think that they can, say this or do that, or, it's not going to, it's okay, they're not going to worry about it, until you have to stand in it. And then once I think you let that barrier go and you stand in it, then you make that decision to do that. But what I'll say as we conclude this point with our 6 minutes left, what I will say is that, we've got to navigate in this world. Unless you are
that's what I'm saying.
born with a silver spoon in your mouth, and you don't need to have any checks coming in from other people, then there is a way that you can't just go through life being like, okay, well, I don't like that. I'm not talking.
That's all I'm saying. And that's a real
that is
point.
Received. What I'm saying is the conviction that she stands on. Yeah. I see it. I applaud it. And I say go for it because it's very hard to do. And you do know exactly who Amanda Seales is and people like that. And I do resent the fact that when a man does it, then it's like, oh, that's just Harvey's personality. He's got a strong personality versus anything else. So, but it takes some time. I'm just getting into that moment myself, and I look forward to being able to speak my mind completely.
Simon Chief is one of the business.
Yeah. Yep. You want to dumb us down. That's right. Intimidation, and they fear us, and they absolutely do, because it's almost like, especially with Amanda Seales, she talks about it a lot about, race and his culture and politics and what goes on in our society. And when you are in that space a lot, people are like, oh, okay, here she comes talking about it. No, I'm sorry. The time is now to talk about it.
Yeah.
And so and if it has to be just a couple of voices doing that, go for it. I love it.
This half hour went by too fast.
Okay, well, you got time for, let me see.
We gotta do
5 minutes.
We gotta do our
Do
question.
you want to do so? Did you have anything else? Any other topics? Okay.
I mean, Sydney's med school.
Yeah.
Sydney's first year of med school.
Yeah.
So we're gonna just do this and then wrap it up with that.
Is that her?
Yep.
Okay.
Here we go.
Hey, Dr. Brown.
Yes. How do I deal with certain relatives and friends asking me why I married my lupus? What? I know he loves me and I love him. Those busybodies are saying he is beneath me and I need to leave him. How should I respond to them? Go ahead, babe. Take that away, because we know you need to tell them to.
Yeah, but it's hard because it's family, right?
It ain't hard.
Family and friends. Well,
you need to butt out of your. Stay out of your.
They definitely
you need to tell them to stay out of my damn business. I'm sorry. Go ahead, babe.
No. I do agree with that. But see, now this man, he's talking. Here go his neck. Both sides. What are you doing? Talking out of it.
What are you talking about?
Because you can't just like bulldoze through it.
It's not a bulldoze. Your family, they're in your business. That's your husband. Your husband comes before your family.
If you stand to lose them, you have to make a very hard decision. What are you willing to risk and to walk away from? If for the 8th time, Aunt Tina is talking about well, why did you marry Lewis? And so for the 8th time, and you still, it's not getting through because I married him because I love him. We have a beautiful family because I happen to know that they do. And if that's not enough, there's going to come a time when either you just be like, Aunt Tina, now we're not going through this again. This is my choice and you will respect him. Or you have to say, well, Aunt Tina, you're not allowed to come over anymore. And so what are you willing to do? That's a real discussion.
Yeah, but it's not even, well, see again, it's not that hard. This was, ask Mark.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to say this.
Family.
Yeah. Family and friends.
Don't ask me this damn question one more time.
And I feel like, yeah, of course.
You're disrespectful.
And I'm sure you've said that.
No.
Before.
I think she's too nice because you're asking the question. You're asking the question, so therefore there's some hesitancy. Like you said, this is tough for her. This is tough for her.
Right.
But you have to. It's your husband.
Yeah.
And they're out of pocket. It's disrespectful.
100%.
And so I'm not going to say this disrespect.
I agree with that 100%. You just have to, before you stand 10 toes down, you just have to understand that you might lose some folks.
Yeah.
And I feel like at the end of the day, I've learned that lesson too, because like our parents are gone. All my aunts and uncles, they're not with us anymore. And so at the end of the day, I find myself looking around and our traditions revolve around my family, the family that I created with you. You know what I mean? So the choices we made to be together, and then our children. So at the end of the day, that is what it is. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. After everybody else is said and done. So if you have to stand with your family, I know you have a beautiful, large family, then that's what you have to do. I hope it doesn't get to that. But I definitely feel like if you haven't laid those rules down, those boundaries, because listen to this term, family. Mm-hmm. There are boundary busters.
Oh yeah, boundaries.
Boundary busters in your life. And I started this year off saying, no Jade. Jade, let's learn it. Let's get it on lock in the back of our brains. Jade, Jade. I don't justify, argue, I don't defend, and I don't explain. This is my choice. This is who I married. Mm-hmm. This is who I have a family with, not you, Shamira. I have a family with. This is my support system. And he is good to me and I'm good to him and he's my choice. And that's what it is. So love me. You don't have to love him, but you do need to respect him and the house and the home that I've created. So I wish you good luck with that. I know.
And y'all been together forever though, ain't they been
forever?
Together?
Well, I had to do the same questions with you, babe, back in the day. They were like, he's a little radio guy.
I didn't.
He's a radio guy, city to city.
I didn't. I
had the microphone all night long. Little comedian type.
I overachieved.
We just stayed together.
I overachieved. It was like, what?
I I'm talking about my family.
That's your wife? Boy, you good. You
I'm
good.
talking about my
Put
family.
on another pot of neck bones. He done got Allison Seymour.
He ain't never had no damn neck bone in his life. Don't be fooled. Okay, well, I think that's it. It's 5:30, and we love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for your boundaries. Thank you so much for always rocking with us on Wednesdays, and we appreciate it. Let us know some things that you want us to talk about, and we look forward to that. Again, we are. I have on this, but I'm about to put a blazer on, and we're going downtown to support our girlfriend Sean Yancey, who has her first solo art show tonight. So that's what we're doing. Yeah.
Awesome.
Jade. Yep.
All right, y'all. Have a good one.
Justify, argue, defend,
Argue.
explain.
We ain't no time to argue.
We're gonna do it.
We're not doing no arguing.
That's what Amanda Seals does. We ain't doing it.
Peace.